War never changes.
In almost every single way, Fallout 4 is what you would expect from a Bethesda game. A huge and richly detailed open world with tons of side quests, an addictive amount of looting, and of course the occasional minor glitch. However, where Fallout 4 surpasses its predecessors is in its smooth and enjoyable combat, its extensive weapon and armour customization, and its settlement creation. This game provides you with what you'd expect and so much more. After selling 12 million copies on its first day, supposedly knocking Grand Theft Auto 5 off the top spot for most copies of a game sold in 24 hours, Fallout 4 is certainly very popular among the gaming community. But does it live up to the hype? We have been playing the game pretty much non-stop since its release, and this is our review. Like previous games, Fallout 4 throws you into a harsh and deadly nuclear wasteland, full of dangerous mutated creatures, vicious bandits, and malfunctioning robots. The opening sequence of the game provides you with an excellent throwback to the pre-apocalypse world and lets you see what the world looked like prior to the war. This is followed by a rather short but concise series of events that lead you to be thrown out into the Boston wasteland, otherwise known as the Commonwealth. Bethesda have scrapped the dull green look of Fallout 3 and added a much needed splash of colour to Fallout 4's world. Dynamic lighting makes the game gorgeous to look at, and a weather system that ranges from intense sunlight to dramatic radiation storms helps the world retain its sense of deadliness. This might be one of Bethesda's best designed worlds to date. Bethesda has redesigned the combat system from the ground up in Fallout 4, introducing a cover system, aim down sight on all guns, and hotkey compatibility for grenades. This adds a whole new layer of fluidity to the standard combat encounters you will have while exploring the Commonwealth. All this has been done while reincorporating the classic VATS combat system, which retains the tactical gameplay style for players who want to use it. This new combination of fluid shooting along with the slowed down tactical VATS targeting system is a great combination. But any player who has played a lot of first-person shooters are likely to find VATS underwhelming or useless throughout a lot of the game. Power armour suits have added an interesting new system to the gameplay. Jumping into a suit and charging towards a deathclaw with a minigun in hand can make you feel truly unstoppable. Bethesda has made a good choice by limiting the amount you can use these sets of power armour, with a fuel source called fusion cores. This allows players to retain the freedom of choice when to use the power armour, but not limiting it to any story-specific moments. Fallout 4 has got an incredibly impressive weapon and armour crafting system, with a huge amount of depth. The hundreds of different combinations that can be made from it, and many attachments, and the ability to name your guns makes everything you craft feel truly unique to you. Settlement building is a fantastic addition to the game, which is great for breaking up those moments of perilous wasteland combat and questing with some much needed relief. Building your own settlement is great for getting the creative juices flowing, and once you are finished it is highly satisfying. Bethesda's decision to make it totally optional was a smart one, as this kind of gaming wouldn't suit all Fallout players. One downside to this is that the creative mode does feel a little limited to what you can build, and it takes some genius thinking to create some of the most wacky, fun and interesting settlements. One of my personal favourite parts of the new settlement building is gathering your resources from the junk items that Bethesda uses to make the game world feel lived in. It finally gives me a reason to go around and steal everything from everyone's house. Bethesda's games have always been more about the immersive world building with great lore than about the storytelling itself. Games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age by BioWare are on the opposite end of the spectrum, where storytelling and character conversations are everything. Fallout 4 is a step towards the other type of RPGs. For the first time in a core Bethesda game, we have been given the delights of a speaking protagonist. This is a great addition which makes your conversations with your companions and other NPCs much more fun and believable. Unfortunately, some of the protagonist's voice acting is fairly bleak and monotone, while some of the facial animations don't hold up against old games in the same genre. The gem of Bethesda's storytelling is often the optional side missions that you encounter randomly throughout your journeys in the treacherous wasteland, and Fallout 4 is no exception. You you really haven't had the full Fallout experience until you've spent a couple of hours running around and fighting crime in the Commonwealth dressed as a 200-year-old superhero. A glaring omission from Fallout 4 is a lack of a karma system. Karma has always been a key part of the Fallout universe, and the decisions you made always felt like they had a consequence in the world. Unfortunately, without a karma system in place, it does feel like your actions have no consequence, and you can do whatever you want, which is a real shame. Bethesda has introduced a love-hate system with your companions this time around, which makes the conversation you have with them much more important, making each of them feel like a human being, or robots, or large green monster. With this new system, I often find my choices veering towards the ones that will make my companions happy, rather than the morally correct choices that I normally go for. Of course, Fallout wouldn't be a Bethesda game if it didn't have the occasional glitch. I've seen some incredibly funny ones so far, such as NPCs' bodies disappearing, and Brahmin, the two-headed mutated cows trying to follow NPCs into buildings and end up walking around on the kitchen work surfaces or beds. I've also been occasionally thrown out of the game, which is a minor setback and a bit of an annoyance. So far, I have not encountered any game-breaking glitches, which is good to see. You really cannot expect to go into a Bethesda game with a world that large that has so many NPC characters and not see any glitches, minor or major. More of a problem than minor glitches though, is the technical problems it is facing. Fallout 4 is a huge game, and even the next-gen consoles are struggling to keep up with it. I play the game on my Xbox One, and so far on multiple occasions, while walking through the more detailed areas of Boston while in a gunfight, I have experienced very high drops in frame rate that have made the game almost unplayable. It is a real shame to see the game not fully optimised for consoles, but I have no doubt that this will be fixed in time with patches and mods. Overall, it is clear that Fallout 4 is a brilliant game, with many great additions, improving on previous entries to the series, but with a few minor disappointments. The storytelling is fantastic, just as you would expect from any Bethesda game, but the highlight for us is the gameplay, which is constantly fun and addictive. Overall, we feel that Bethesda's latest entry in their impressive library of games is incredible and deserves much of the attention it has received. We are giving it a score of 8.6 out of 10. If you are a fan of games with good storylines while retaining enjoyable gameplay, we highly recommend buying Fallout 4. What did you think of our review? Do you agree with our opinions? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. If you did like our video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more gaming and film related videos.